Well, hi Sherry. I'm glad you can make it in today. I got to tell you, I was a little bit concerned whenever you called and asked to schedule this appointment because I thought we were on a good path. I knew you were working and finished school and all that. So tell me a little bit about what's going on.
I don't like my job. I don't like the dog grooming. I don't like any of it. The dogs come in matted. They're dirty. They got ticks. They got fleas. They leave me in the office by myself to take care of all these animals and wash them and bathe them and shear them. And then this Chihuahua. He is a mean dog. And every time he comes in to get groomed, he bites me. So I don't want to do this anymore. I want to quit.
You know, I'm sorry. I don't want you to think I'm not taking you seriously or anything, but that Chihuahua is just a little bitty tiny dog. I mean, they can't even get much of a mouthful if they do bite you. So I mean that doesn't really sound too bad to me. Are you sure that there's not a way you'd like to stay there? Because you put in a lot of time going to that training program, and you spent a lot of effort there, and we invested pretty substantial amount of money in helping you do this, and you were really involved and invested in going that direction, and we said sure, that sounds like a good idea, and now you're kind of changing gears on it. I just want to make sure you really thought this over and are making a good decision for yourself.
If I hadn't thought about it, I wouldn't have made the appointment. I don't want to work with animals.
No. Well, what about if we got you out of the direct animal contact and just moved into the other part of the pet store, where you could be working on the, stocking shelves and helping customers and that kind of thing. That way, we'd be able to preserve that job, so that you could stay there for that 90 days that we talked about. And, that I really think that would be a good idea to, really work on keeping that solid job history and getting a good reference. Remember, we talked about all this several times.
I don't want to work anywhere around animals, not directly with them, not in a pet store. What is it that you don't get about that?
I just really feel bad about you throwing away all this time and effort. What about if there's a kennel right down the street, where they have kind of high class, upscale dogs that they take care of, and these wouldn't be the dogs that have been running around out in the woods and getting all matted and ticks. They come in clean, and you give them a little bath and a blow dry, and then you send them back out, and they're just as clean as they were before, and it probably even pay better, and the hours would be better. We'd be able to just maybe ease you right into that. I could go in there and maybe offer them a little money for on-the-job training or something like that. What do you think about that? That might be a pretty good plan.
You're not listening to me. I don't want to work around animals, period. I want to work more in an office setting. I want to work in an office. I want to be able to dress up and I want to look cute. I don't want to work with animals, period. Not in a pet store, not in a kennel. I don't want to work with animals.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit frustrated, but we've got a lot of people that were involved in your team, your CSW and the rest of your support network. I really think that we probably need to take a minute before we rush into this decision and invite the rest of that group together. And I've got some time on my calendar. We can get you back in about 3 weeks when we get all those people together. We can all meet and really, get down to what we, need to do on this thing. Make sure we've covered all of the angles, all of the bases. And I really think that that's the right thing to do. And I want to really stress again that you need to stay at that job that you're at. Don't go and quit that job because your work history is a little bit shaky to start with, and if you add one more failure on the list, it's going to be that much harder to find the next job after this one. So while we're waiting to get that appointment scheduled with all those people that are concerned about you and worried about your welfare and your well-being, and while we get that team together, just stay on that job. And I really think that's the best thing we can do at this point.
So you're telling me I got to wait 3 weeks before we can get the whole team together, stay on the job I told you I didn't want, and then we'll have a team meeting and decide whether or not I can go to another job or not. I got to stay on this job.
I think you've summarized that really well. That sure sounds like a good plan. I'm glad we had this talk. I'm glad we could come to that agreement.
Fine.